I'm Lizzie Chapman. I'm the VP of Tech Partnerships for AdRoll, and I'm happy to be joined by Tracy. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. I'm Tracy Graziani from Greenfire Strategy.
So we were chatting a little bit before. B2B advertising and go-to-market has been a little boring, sometimes more conservative, but you guys are doing something really interesting. I'd love to hear about how you're approaching B2B marketing right now.
Yeah, so it is a little bit of a tough sell to get people to step outside of being serious in B2B. But what we're doing that's really unconventional right now is we have decided to hire a comedian on staff.
Love it. Where did you find this comedian?
So this is interesting. We attended the Content Entrepreneur Expo for the last 4 years. And I think it was 2 years ago, we're in negotiation, so it's not the hiring is not official. Yep. But there was a speaker at the event who was a comedian, and it was like a fireside chat, kind of like you and I are doing. And he had just the really insightful, brilliant things. It was one of those where like you're just writing everything down. You're like, this is genius. And part of it is I'm learning from somebody who's not in my space. The way they see the world is different.
Yep.
And so it's funny how those things like sit in your brain computer for a long time. And we do deep persona research for all of our clients. We interview their customers. We look at data sets as well as, so we do the first party data by literally talking to their customers and interviewing them, but we also look at third party data. All this is we put all this stuff together, and so we're working on a plan for a client. We've always known with our clients who run ads, we've always known that humor outperforms almost any other emotional trigger. People often think that other emotional triggers matter more, like there's a lot of fear-based.
Do we know more than this person? Are we sounding really smart? Are we going to make them feel like the scarcity?
There's the example I give as a Gen Xer is like we grew up with this is your brain on drugs. They crack an egg and whatever, and that was like this fear-based marketing, and it was meant to make us afraid to do drugs, right? All the research showed it had zero effect. And yet you still see in advertising today so much fear-based marketing. Like we know we're supposed to do an emotional trigger, we're just picking the wrong one.
We're picking the wrong one.
Or there's a whole lot of affinity-based stuff. So there's all this like FOMO-based, trying to trigger,
scarcity, FOMO,
trigger again, but it's still a negative emotion. We're trying to trigger this thing, and it's still fear, right? That's what FOMO is. It's fear of missing out. So what I found, because we test things to death, we A/B test it, we multivariate test, we've done all the things over the years, and humor always outperforms. It always outperforms. And so with this client, we've done deep research. We're trying to get into a very unusual segment in a very, very boring and serious industry. And every signal pointed to our only way to stand out. This is kind of a David and Goliath situation. They are being outspent like 20-1 by all their competitors. So we have to figure out how to 20-1 outperform them, because we just simply can't with the same amount of budget. So obviously we can use
messaging.
We can use tools like yours, which do actually amplify that impact,
of course,
which is great. But you still have to have good content. AI doesn't write good jokes. We tried, by the way, and they were awful. Like, AI is never going to do humor. It's never going to do lots of things. Well, maybe, but for now, it's not replacing the real personal stuff. That's sticky and impactful and good. And B2B is like a wide ocean of beige. It's so boring that creating something that's even mildly good stands way far out. Well, so we just were like, we need humor. And then we tried to do it, and we're like, this isn't what we do. We need to hire someone who does humor. And that's what made me think back to, there was that guy at that conference 2 years ago. And so I reached out to Joe Polizzi, who runs that conference, and I was like, okay, so I remember there was a guy, and he had these really insightful things to say. Who was that? And that's kind of where we started.
And we'll go from here. Well, I'm excited to see what happens. I hope it works out and we get to see have a case study of what a comedian can do at an agency.
Right.
We've talked a lot about connection. You know, you hear AI. I'm curious to hear how you're thinking about connection with the future of marketing.
I don't think AI is bad.
Of course not.
I think it's just how you use it.
It does the stuff humans don't want to do.
Exactly, and humans do want to connect with other humans, even though we maybe aren't as good as we used to be, unfortunately. And so, at least for now, the weird way that you can differentiate is a thing that's always been with you the whole time, which is like being more human. And so, I think humanity is your superpower if you really can tap into it, and you can be a little bit imperfect and messy. And so what I am excited about is that I know my team are these really deeply thoughtful, empathetic people. And I also know that our IP as a company has always been grounded in deep persona research, deep knowing and understanding of our clients' customers. I always say, if you work with us, we will know your customers better than you know them, and once we've spent a little time with it, we're going to know them better than they know themselves, because we really, really dig into what it is like to live day in and day out at whatever those people do. And the thing is, you may think that you sell widgets or solar panels or whatever it is, but everybody is actually in the people business.
They are. You have to sell it to a human that's going to buy it, whether it's B2B or B2C.
It's a human who authorizes the payment.
Always. Of course. I love it. So human-to-human interaction is great. I think events are going to keep charging ahead. How are you seeing events play out? You know, you talked a little bit about trade shows before. Are you seeing those evolve at all to be a little more human-centric, or is an event like this better, or what are you seeing there?
I think the biggest conference we go to is actually about 3 times the size of Inbound. And Inbound has like a good 10,000 people, right? And the smallest conference we go to has about 1,000 people. So there are advantages and disadvantages to all of those formats and structures and things like that. I think the thing that's hard for me, because we've been working with clients for so long, and most of our clients do trade shows as an important part of their marketing, and it is how much people are leaving money on the table. They are really missing the opportunity. I mean, I walked in here yesterday this is a great venue. It's a great location. There's great energy, all of this stuff. The first booth I walked past, people walked up, they said, "Hi, let me show you this cool thing." The next booth I passed, there were 2 people leaning against the booth, scrolling on their phones. You know,
you're going to spend all this money.
So you spend $100,000 to be here, and that is a loss.
Get your most personable people out on the front of that booth.
Right, and so that is just like, so events are a fantastic opportunity, but you actually have to make them fun for the humans. And the humans who are there have to want to connect with other humans.
1,000%. Well, thank you so much for all your thoughts today, Tracy. It was wonderful to chat.
Yeah, my pleasure.